So the following is going to be a social commentary against a guy who goes by the name on YouTube of Canadian Prepper. I'm out here and I'm doing the watering in my on my vegetables, and I'm trying to cool down a bit because I just sat and watched his most recent video, and it just gets up my nose. All right, so first of all, I'll be the first guy to say I actually mention my business, baldguylimo.com, in every single video that I make. I'd be stupid if I didn't. What this man does is he actually takes whatever's in the headlines and does as much fear-mongering as he can to get people to buy from his prepper shop. See, Canadian Prepper owns a prepper shop down in, up in Canada, I guess. I don't know where exactly it is. I don't really care. This guy will do anything and say anything to scare people into buying stuff from his website. So I'm going to give you an example and a review of his most recent video. You see, his most recent video, he talks about how it says, when food runs out, ... That's the title of it. I'm not going to put a link to it because I'm not going to give this guy any more attention than he really should have. But you can search for it yourself. When food runs out, ... And one of the things he says is that some of the states are actually shutting down the post offices. No, they aren't. In fact, I actually went online and noticed specifically that absolutely no post offices, states' post offices, have been closed due to the coronavirus. Now, with that said, there have been some individual ones that have shortened their hours and so on because of all this. I was at the post office just a couple days ago, Monday, as I record this, which was 3 days ago. And they had this big old sheet of plastic up with these tears in them so you can go in and do your credit card thing, and they actually had it set up pretty well. But there are no states that have shut down the post office because of it. He's saying he's getting packages returned because of it. Well, if you're getting packages returned, my friend, it's because you wrote the wrong damn address on it. All right? So another thing that was really fascinating about Canadian Prepper is Canadian Prepper, in his particular video, turned off the comments so he couldn't be called out on his BS. Because everything that comes out of his mouth is generally BS. Now, I'll tell you, he's got some of the best production quality I've ever seen. So he's obviously making gobs of money up there from all the suckers who think that it's perfectly acceptable to be scared out of their mind by some yahoo with some great production values, and they're buying tons and tons of stuff. So let's talk a little bit about how the food supply is and what people need to be purchasing right now. As I record this, it is the 9th of April, 2020. Okay, so the things you need to keep an eye out on are three things when it comes to food: the farms, the supply chain, the stores. Okay? The farms. Are we hearing reports that there is not enough people to farm the food? I have not heard that report. I've heard some reports that food has been thrown out. Farms throw out food all the times for different reasons. That's not necessarily meaning that everything's falling apart, but it's something to remember. The supply chain, number two. These are the distributors and the trucks, and to get it from farm to the store. The main problem that we're dealing with right now has nothing to do with the lack of food. It has to do with the distribution chain. The distribution chain was normally giving the food quantity to the restaurants. The restaurants are closed. Okay? So the restaurants would get first pick, and then the rest would go to your Walmarts, your Target Foods, Winco, Kroger, and so on. Okay? The restaurant gets top charge because they generally pay more for it. Okay, you got that? So everything's changing now because more people are eating at home than they are eating in the restaurants. The restaurants are generally closed. Or they're just to-go orders. So their business has dropped a bit. So the supply chain is having a hard time adjusting to that fact. So when you go to the store and there's not enough vegetables, well, this is because they had a run on bananas or onions or whatever. And the supply chain is not changed or is not designed to change fast enough to compensate for that. All right, so that's number 2. The third one is going to be, are there people at the stores that could actually, stock the shelves and ring you up? That is very important. There's a popular chain up here I go to called Winco, and they just had a big thing in the papers. 3 people at Winco have tested positive for coronavirus. 2 at the Tigard store, 1 in Oregon City. I was actually at the Oregon City one yesterday picking up some supplies. I asked the lady behind the register about it, and she wouldn't say a thing. So clearly they've been told to not talk about it. But hey, you know what? They're on the front lines. It's surprising to me that there's only 3. It's going to happen. They're around people all the time. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is the reason why the supply chain is different. This guy, this joker, this Canadian prepper guy goes on there and says, oh, we're having problems with the food. Okay, here's what you want to get. Go to my website and buy this. So he's trying to get you all scared to buy the dehydrated food that he sells on his website. You know what I'm going to do? In the description, if you look down below, you're going to see a link I'm going to put down there for a place that sells for $10, including shipping. $10, and that's it. A place that will sell freeze-dried food for 72-hour supply. Buy as many as you want. Whenever I had a limousine customer, a limousine client, I always bought one. It was sort of my gift to myself for working so hard. And right now I've got about 30, 40 days of freeze-dried food for 5 people. So we're good in case the store shut down for 30 days. But understand, I'm not making a dime off any of this. It's not like I'm making any money, but it's just a place I go to and I recommend people purchase from them. So go ahead and click there. I'm not making any money off of it. It's not like I own a store. I don't. It'd be cool, but I don't own a store. I own a limousine company, not a prepper store, and I'm not trying to scare you into using my services. This joker with Canadian Prepper, this guy, he'll do and say anything to get you to follow him on YouTube and do and say anything to get you to buy from him. And it really just kind of gets up my nose, as you can tell. This man has become my arch nemesis. I am the hero, he is the Lex Luthor. All right, now that I got that off my chest, the update here, everything is fine. Nothing's changed. We're still surviving. I've got a video coming up that I just can't seem to edit that is nothing but me talking about paper bricks. I know that sounds weird, but I'm going to show you how I make them, and I'm going to use them for camping. Here, this is my extremely messy backyard. Actually, it's cleaner this year than it ever has been. And I'm actually going to be building, hopefully, a barbecue right up over here on this side. And then over here, I want to put a place for us all to sit, because if this lasts any more than it has been, I'm going to get a projection TV and we can watch movies right out here while we barbecue, out nighttime. We can have a fire going, kind of have a camping feel, but not actual camping, since we can't leave. And that's my update for me. So that's it. So I feel a little better. I've vented a little bit, so doing okay. I hope you're all doing well, and please look after your neighbor. Thank you very much, and baldguylimo.com.